Okay, the last of the formulas that are found at the front of your test paper, your exam paper, that we're going to look at now, is the formula to find the area of a triangle using sine. So it's probably the most simple one to use. The area of a triangle is equal to half multiplied by A multiplied by B multiplied by sine of the angle C. Again, same triangle as before. We've got a triangle ABC. The side there, small a, is opposite the angle, which we have as capital A, and lowercase b, side, is opposite angle B, written in uppercase, and the angle C over here, again, capital letter, is opposite the side C, written as a lowercase letter. Okay, they're always opposite each other, B and B, A and A, C and C. So, let's have a look at an actual question. So we need to find the area of this triangle. Here's again the rule. It's half times A times B times sine C. Now there are A, B's and C's here, but basically let's have a look what it means. Sine C, that's the angle C, which is here, 38 degrees. A and B are the sides around the angle, because we know that side C, according to our formula, side C would be opposite angle C. So if angle C is here, which is the angle we want, remember that won't always be labelled as C. It might be that it's an A or something like that, but it doesn't matter. So basically the angle is here. The side opposite we don't need. Look, sine of the angle C, and there's no C in there, there's no side C needed. Okay, it's just sides A and B. So they are always the sides around the angle. So one there, 5 and 7. So all we need to do to find the area is work out half times by side A, which we can call 5, times by side B, which we can call 7, or which is 7, times by sine of angle C, which is 38 degrees. Again, make sure your calculator is in degrees mode, and then when you work that out you get 10.8 centimeters squared. And that's pretty much it. Let's just have a recap. We had an angle here, we're trying to find the area of the triangle. So you do half times the two sides that are around it, so 1 there, 5, times by 7, times by sine of the angle given in the question. And that's that. Let's have a look why that works. So here's the same question again. We're trying to find the area of a triangle. Okay, now remember that the area of a triangle is equal to half times by base times by height. That's how you find the area of a triangle. You learned that early on. Half times base times height. Now in this question we've got a base, which is 7, but we don't actually know this height, do we? Okay, so far what we've got is half, we know that, times by 7 times by height. Now, remember we're using sine to find the area of these triangles. So think back to trigonometry when you first learn it, and SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA. Now because we're using sine, let's just write down the sine triangles, which was sin or sine of theta, opposite and hypotenuse, and you can make the formula triangle with that. Now take a look at our triangle that I just did the dashed line down. That's the height, the vertical height perpendicular to the base of this triangle. Now if you just take this section here, a right angle triangle, Remember, when you first use trigonometry, it's always with right angled triangles. You have the angle 38 degrees. You've got this side here opposite the right angle, so that's our hypotenuse, and then we need our height here. That is opposite the angle, so it's the opposite side. Okay, and how do you find the opposite side? Well, look at this. Remember, the rule is you cover up what you want to find. So you want to find the opposite, so you do sine of the angle multiplied by hypotenuse. So in our case, what have we got? We've got height. Our height, remember, that's this length there, and it's called it's the opposite in this case, is sine 38, because that's our angle there, multiplied by the hypotenuse, so times by 5. So remember how we started. Area of a triangle is equal to half times base times by the height. We already knew the base was 7, so we had half times 7, that's the base, but we didn't know what the height was. Okay? Height we found out to be sine 38 times 5 using our formula triangle for sine. So all I did is we put sine 38 times 5 into there, and we get this, half times 7 times sine 38 times by 5. Now remember, multiplication can be rearranged any way you want. For example, 2 times 7 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2 times 7, or 2 times 3 times 7. It doesn't really matter how you arrange it. So I'm going to just rearrange this. So then we end up with half first, like we just did, and then we end up with times by 5 times by 7 times by sin 38, which is what we did originally to get 10.8 centimeters squared. Okay, and that's why it works. That's finding the area of a triangle using sine.